In this video, I want to talk about GOODRA, talk a bit about its problems and things I would love to see changed on GOODRA, as it's been pretty much just one of the most mid Pokemon since its release around like more than actually a year ago already. GOODRA has been out and it has been pretty much under 50% win rate since its release. And there's just so many things wrong with GOODRA that I want to talk about a tiny bit. There's also this thing going on where the community thinks GOODRA is actually quite overpowered because of Dragon Pulse. It heals so much, but it all comes just down from, you know, people not paying a lot of attention, staying in Dragon Pulse, it healing a lot. But Dragon Pulse, pretty much since its release, has also just had a much worse win rate than Muddy Water. So that's also quite something. I think the main problem is that GOODRA needs too much experience, right? It needs level 8 for its second move, and that on a defender is just absolutely rough. One of the biggest power spikes is early game though, with Bubble and Tackle. You're actually quite strong. Bubble is a very strong ability, but as soon as you get to level 5, you already feel quite useless, and getting to level 8 feels so incredibly difficult. And then other defender, they just scale so much earlier. And also, if you play defender and Unite, you know, optimally, you want to run XP share. So GOODRA just doesn't fit this either. Like, running XP share in GOODRA has to be one of the worst feelings in the entire game. It's similar to like Mamoswine, where you also need level 9 for the final evolution. But at least Mamoswine gets like kinda the second move at level 7, and in general it just also has much better basic or like level 5 moves, right? Compared to GOODRA. Like, Muddy Water doesn't really do anything early game either. It can't really last hit. The defense and special defense doesn't matter all too much yet because they're quite low, you know, or the base stats of GOODRA are very low this early into the game. Anyways, and then Dragon Pulse is quite easy to outplay it, right? And if the enemies have some sort of, you can see currently on the bottom right, Curse Bangle popping on me, my Dragon Pulse wouldn't even heal that much anyway. So it's like very big countered also by just those anti-healing items being there. So I really would like to see GOODRA being a level 4 and level 7 Pokemon, right? I think I would already improve it so much. Level 4, I mean, again, the first move doesn't matter too much, as Bubble is actually quite strong, right? Bubble makes GOODRA actually quite good and in laning phase. And then just make sure the second evolution or the final evolution is on level 7. Like, level 8 takes so long in certain games. You can see right now I'm already 2.5 minutes into the game and I'm not even level 7 yet. Like, and even having an XP share Blissey with me, it is so rough to even get to the power spikes of a GOODRA. I know it's like this pseudo-legendary stuff. They all get the evolutions kind of like level 8 or something, or a bit later than other Pokemon. But it's just complete nonsense. It really just doesn't make any sense. I don't think it should be any like correlation between, you know, the pseudo-legendaries or anything. Just buff GOODRA. That's all I want to see. Another problem I want to talk about is GOODRA's passive. GOODRA's passive is the one that heals. So you can see it right here on the bottom, on the right of my HP bar. If I go into Tall Grass now, I will start healing. But there's so many like quality of life changes they could do to it. First off, it starts healing if you're at full HP. So if you're full HP and you want to stay in Tall Grass, because you're a defender, right? You're supposed to stay in Tall Grass to give vision to your allies, to make sure the enemies can't just ambush you, right? That's the job of a defender, is to really be aggressive or like be the vision for the team, right? You have to be in Tall Grass. And the passive just happens then before the fight even starts. You're setting up something, your passive comes back up, you're full HP, and you start healing anyways. It's so frustrating. Second part is, GOODRA heals when enemies are hitting you, but the passive instantly goes away once GOODRA starts attacking. Which is also just absolutely awful, right? Like, especially in team fights. I want to stack my Muddy Water, but I also want to use my passive. So if I don't use Muddy Water while in Tall Grass for the heal, then I don't really get tankier. It's just such, I feel like, a bad synergy that GOODRA's heal of the passive doesn't continue once you attack yourself. And that's just so frustrating. Then another issue is as well, like, the really strong plus moves are level 13, where on level 13 you start proccing your passive, right? The passive that you have to put onto opponents to get Q reduction per basic attack and to slow your opponents. That's the very strong part on like Whip or Acid Spray, and that GOODRA becomes very strong, right, on level 13 to apply it. But again, that also for a defender is so late, similar to like Snorlax. I think those two Pokemon as well, it make no sense, Mamoswine, that we get the last like move on level 13, because they're supposed to run XP share, they're defender, they don't really get much experience to begin with. It's quite difficult to even reach those power spikes, and it just doesn't really make a lot of sense for it to be this late. And it just doesn't really feel like a good defender either, right? You have like Acid Spray, which feels, in my opinion, very clunky. I wish they would make it a bit different. This first like part of throwing out and then going for like that body slam, it really doesn't feel smooth at all. Like it's super, super slow and the enemies usually know what's going to happen. And then Power Whip, I mean, it's quite easily missed. I feel like there should also be something, maybe at the, like something should be happening at the end of it or something. But yeah, it definitely feels quite awkward to have like a GOODRA on your team, as it doesn't really have Engage, right? Which a defender needs. The only Engage is like Power Whip, hoping your opponents are in range of it. Acid Spray, which takes a long time because first you have to mark, and then you can dash forward. That's also quite awkward, and then for them to become really strong, you need level 13. Another thing as well that really annoys me is the passive GUI doesn't work on unstoppable targets. Which means, if you have your passive on an unstoppable target, which it just doesn't spawn, you can't get cooldown reduction on your moves, which is also terrible for like taking objectives taking objectives, because, you know, the Reggie, Rayquaza, they have unstoppable, so you cannot reset your abilities on objectives. If the enemies also have someone like Wigglytuff, who just unite moves or something in a team fight, you pretty much cannot build up your moves anymore. You always have to basic attack. If you can't basic attack, your Pokemon becomes very useless. And that's also something that really annoys me. It was similar to like Gyarados, where Dragon Breath didn't really work on unstoppable targets. They fixed that. And that's also something I wish they would do for GOODRA. There's just so many small things I feel like they could be doing for GOODRA that would make the Pokemon feel so much better. I'm quite sad because I feel like GOODRA is a very fun defender, or very fun... I mean, I guess it kind of also feels like an all-rounder again. So, you know, it's not really the defender, but it feels like a very tanky all-rounder that is super, super fun. I love playing all-rounder, especially also the tankier ones that have a lot of sustain, that don't just go down instantly. We can get, you know, a lot of more moves out. So I really want to play GOODRA. I really want to enjoy this Pokemon, but it doesn't feel auto great. Also, its Unite move is like... It's very annoying. It's not really good. Also, what I've also find annoying, sometimes the boost auto attack can be ranged, right? So sometimes in a team fight where I want to hit the person in front of me, it just shoots onto someone I don't even want to get my auto attack on because they have less HP on. So this is also something I'm like, do we really need the boost auto attack to be ranged sometimes? Like, I guess it's nice in certain scenarios, and sometimes it's like, I just want to basic attack them for my full damage in front of me and make sure I hit the right target. There's just so many awkward things in GOODRA's kit going on that makes this Pokemon just absolute pain to play. And again, right here, you can see, I am full HP in a tall grass, my passive starts healing, and what do I gain from it? Or at least make it like turn into a sheet or something that lasts permanently one time or something. But no, it should really just, if you're full HP, again, second time, my passive shouldn't even be starting to go, like, straightforward, right? Like, it should be. Luckily, I got to level 13, but imagine I had XP share, which was, you know, XP share, having XP share is more optimal, but playing GOODRA like an XP share defender just feels awful. Dragon Pulse as well. I know Dragon Pulse is the one thing. Oh, Dragon Pulse is so broken, guys. Dragon Pulse, the best ability in the game. It heals GOODRA for, like, 200 million HP. It's so awful. It gets stunned. It's so easy to dodge. Anti-healing. And all that fun stuff. Like, it's really not a good time. So, on Rayquaza, for example, right here now, if I want to maybe build up more Muddy Waters, I can't really do it, because I can't slow, as we all go down to Charizard, trying to reach anyone, trying to build up my Muddy Water, and decide to maybe go for Unite move soon. And always make sure you cycle in your basic attacks, very important, to make sure you get the heal off. And yeah, just enemies are here again. I try to use my Unite, try to heal up a bit. But also just like, GOODRA is so vulnerable of getting stunned. Like, all these CCs, like, I literally just can't walk. I literally cannot walk. I'm just slowed down, I'm stunned. It's so difficult to play GOODRA because you're not someone like, I don't know, Slowbro who just throws out a Surf, Trevenant who does like 2 quick things. You really have to stay in a fight for so long, which currently feels very difficult, as the CC in Unite is really, really crazy. Also, the ending to this game, like, this was crazy. Like, my Dragapult just refused to go for Rayquaza. Actually, this made me very mad. He refused to finish off Rayquaza, and we actually had a chance to still win. Ended up losing this game, but I just wanted to take this opportunity to talk a bit about GOODRA. Maybe give me your opponent, not your opponents. Give me your thoughts and opinions on GOODRA. Would you buff it? Do you think it's fine? And let me know what my buffs, if you would enjoy the buffs that I would give to GOODRA. and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!